Whose woods are these? I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. These woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This is a poem written by Robert Frost in New Hampshire in 1922. I texted it to Malachi one day while we were having a conversation about life and struggle. I thought it might help him. We mentioned it later in this episode, which is why I thought I would give the audience a full reading. From the Redacted Podcast, I'm Matt Bender, and this is Murdering Malachi, Part 6. I don't know where the shade is. The last two lines of Robert Frost's poem are repeated twice, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Now, there's a lot of debate on why Robert Frost might have put it like that, why he put that line twice. There's scholarly articles and grand analysis done by literary critics, but I think maybe it's a little more simple than that. I think the author is struggling, fantasizing for a moment that it might be easier to just wander into the woods, into the dark, into the void, and not continue on with life's responsibilities and arduous journey. To me, the last two lines are a mantra, something you repeat to yourself to keep moving forward, something we need to say to convince ourselves that the journey is worth it. Also, a little bit of trivia about that poem for my literary nerds out there. The original typesetter had inserted an Oxford comma, so when he says the woods are lovely, dark, and deep, which is to say it's all three of those things. When Robert Frost found that out, he actually ordered it removed, so the woods are lovely, dark, and deep. Anyway, I like to use quotes from other people in these episodes, oftentimes to explain something that I have a hard time giving the right words to, because chances are somebody's already done it and said it way better than I could have. Life lessons are a little like that sometimes, where we think we're unique and our situation is unique and nobody's ever been where we are. Chances are somebody's already been there and done that. And if we listen, we might actually learn something about ourselves through someone else's experiences. If I could attribute anything to my success, as fucking boring as that sounds. And I mean, I've had a lot of chaotic shit. I had fucking PTSD. I was in, I've had my own shit. Not nearly yours, but forcing yourself to wake up the same way every day and willing it to be that way so you can, and that sounds boring, like when you run a business. Like I had a fucking painting company for 17 years. Every day you got to answer the phones. Every day you got to respond to emails. Every day you got to make sure your painters are out there working. Every single day. You got to pay the bills. It's just like, it's a repetition of consistency.
It's odd that you
that's
say that.
90% of my success. It's 90%
I've been trying to do that lately. I've been like telling myself, okay, I'm going to get up at like 6 or 7 or something, and I'm going to go to the gym for an hour, and then I'll start. Like, I know that there has to be some type of I don't want to say stability or what is, but now I'm losing words. This is a common word.
Just fucking consistency.
Thank you. I knew that there has to be. My problem has been getting to sleep. That I'm like, fuck. Like it's so hard for me to get to sleep. Like so hard so it's like, but I've been trying. Like that's actually been my goal recently. It's like, okay, get up every day, go to the gym, get consistency. You need stability and consistency. Chaos isn't working for you anymore.
No.
But it used to. I thrived in chaos and I made it work. I mean, chaos is the reason I was able to leave the dumpster and end up in like 5 different apartments. But then chaos is the reason I lost the apartments. I mean, I knew how to be a success in chaos, but the things I had then, I don't have at 50.
Well, remember the poem I sent you? You know, walking through the woods on a snowy.
Okay, yes, got you.
You know, the chaos is the dark woods. It's beautiful, dark, and deep. But I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. So it's like, I look away from it. I don't, because it doesn't lead anywhere. I've done it. It doesn't lead anywhere.
You're absolutely right. One of the things that is not unique to me, as much as I love to be unique, and to the point of defeating actions, is the concept that we don't know how to function unless there's chaos. It's something that's very common in addiction.
Yeah.
And you'll find a lot of people have struggles in recovery because they just don't know how. Or they'll say that it's boring, like you said. You'll hear a lot of people say, well, this life is boring. You know, I'm accustomed to running from cops. So I'm accustomed to being up 3 days in a row. I'm accustomed to, and as much as it's destroying everything, their body, their mind, their life, they don't know anything else. And I found that I'm not unique in that sense. That boredom, that consistency is something I should have been better at a long time ago. And yes, I might have been much more successful than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't just come down to that. We've talked, I've got a shitload of fucking other issues.
Yeah.
I literally am supposed to be insane right now.
Oh, fuck yeah. I get that. But talent, realizing that talent is 10% of it. I mean, what is it? 90% inspiration or 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. I mean, people said shit like that because it was true. Like, it's literally just like showing up. Like, if you just show up every day, you're already ahead of 90% of people. And that's it. Like, the talents, I've seen some talentless ass motherfuckers.
Just show up.
Dude, I know some rich people, man, and they are stupid. But you know what? Yeah. They are obsessively consistent, and even having businesses. I mean, they're up, they're doing it every day, responding to everything, meticulous. It might even take them longer to write an email or to come up with a plan or a thought or a system. But they do it. They struggle through it. They pop that, and that takes something. It's a strange thing for people to get, because people have always said to me how lucky I am sometimes. They're like, man, you're so lucky. I'm like, motherfucker.
I'm lucky. Yeah. I've had motherfuckers send me money. I've got a rich uncle who sent me money when I definitely don't deserve it. I've got total strangers who I've never even met in person give me a hotel room for a month. I'm not lucky. I'm blessed beyond belief. So when I say I'm a fucking loser, it's not for opportunities, because I fucked up. I'm lucky. Someone who's actually put the work in is not lucky. They put the fucking work in. Yeah. You put the fucking work in. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's why it's a weird thing. Like, I've had friends and people like that say that, and I'm like, dude, it's not luck. It's you don't fucking get up in the morning, or you don't fucking you call off work. You could do twice as much business as you're doing. And
those are the fucked up things I did. Yeah. Those are things I fucked up and did. Mm-hmm. Those are and there are times when I get it together, and actually it's funny because to bring it full circle, one of the ways I do it is I read and I haven't been reading lately. It's because I shut everything down.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I'm going to do that tonight. Thank you, because you really kind of, even though I don't know where I'm going to live now because of what's going on, and even if I do move, I'm facing living in the bushes right now if I can't. But the reality is that I can't use that as an excuse again, because there's always going to be one. Yeah. I need to get back to where I was, which was every night I would read. that would turn off the TV or the YouTube. That would put my mind in a calm place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I go to sleep, the thoughts that I have are intelligent ones, not titties or ass or violence or not even cat videos or American Idol. You know, it's like my brain was working. So if I do dream, it's like an intelligent dream. It's a thought dream.
I like to leave myself right before I go to bed with something like you're saying, intelligent to ruminate on. Like, even if it was like remodeling something in my house, like I want to think about how I'm going to put that sink in and how I'm going to connect the supply lines and maybe where I'd put that drain. Just something like intelligent, but almost nonsensical to just ruminate on, or maybe like a business idea.
So I have to thank you for reminding me, even though it's late in the day and part of me saying it's too late to fucking do anything. You know, I battle that every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still here. So, you know, what the fuck? I'm not dead yet. So if I die tomorrow, I won't give a fuck, will I?
Yeah.
You know, I'll be dead. But I need to thank you for reminding me of that basic concept that really is a powerful one. And I when I am doing well, it's because I've incorporated that concept on some level.
Routine is great. Routine, like our bodies, our minds, we're creatures of habit. We always are. That's without a doubt. Sometimes that habit's chaos, but like you see people and they work their asses off all week and then they go party on the weekends. So they have their little chaos. They have their time.
Yeah,
they go to Mardi Gras. They go to Key West. And then they tuck it up. They tuck it up. They put their fucking pants back on, and then they go back to work.
I couldn't. That
you need the chaos. You need that.
No, I mean the whole like work all week, then party on weekends. Work all week, party on the weekends. Like, I guess I need more fluctuation, more mental stimulation than that on some level, or at least, or maybe the word depends on what the work is. Like,
if you have stimulating work, then you're just trying to have a little.
If I was a wildlife photographer, like let's say I'm a wildlife photographer, then I could see me doing that because then the work itself is like me out in the bushes for fucking 10 hours, or me going to a different location each time, me not answering to some asshole boss. Like, depending on what it was, I could see that, and then I probably wouldn't need to party on the weekends because I'm already getting something out by being like the stimulus. Like, oh my god, I waited 8 hours and finally got this, horn swaddle, purple bill.
Yeah.
So there's like a different kind of that whole holding it into the weekends, then exploding, and then like being a zombie the rest of the week. That would destroy me.
Yeah. It all depends on what you do. I mean, if you're working for a bank, just crunching numbers and shuffling around memos and emails, that's a cage. I mean, okay, we all need a cage. It's just what kind of cage do we pick? Like a cage can also be like safety or parameters.
It's funny you said that because I watched the first episode of Star Trek last night, the very first one ever.
Yeah.
And it ended with the aliens saying, we found that human beings hate cages more than any other species we've ever met, even when the cage is a good one.
It's like you take an animal, right? Like a dog or a cat. Like sometimes they like to be in a little closed space.
Well, in one automatically, though, because you have to sleep every night. So no matter how free you think you are, try to stay up more than 2 days.
I know, that sucks.
Always found that so weird that as free as we think we are, every night we need somewhere to lay down. Really? Like, as free as you think you are, you have to have somewhere to lay down every night.
That's true. You gotta pay for it or make it or own it or have it.
Something. Fluffing up some weeds underneath a tree somewhere. Yeah. You still need somewhere. Every single night. So how free are you really? Every single night you go into your cage.
That's the cage we want. You choose it. You can choose it. You're going to be caged.
No, you can't choose it. You try staying up more than 2 days. You're not choosing.
Oh,
nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I've always found that intriguing. That as powerful as we are, we shut down every night. Yeah. Elon Musk to the crackhead. If it's not every night, it's every 2 nights. Doesn't matter. As powerful as you think you are, you shut down every night.
I was reading about it, and it was like, I mean, this was a couple years ago, maybe 10. Like, they still don't know why we sleep. There's not like a measurable reason why we need sleep.
I think that's a God thing. I think that's a way of reminding us we're human.
Yeah. Well, they say
Like,
your brain releases, what is it? Dimethyltryptophan, DMT.
How powerful as you think you are, dog, I'm shutting you down every night.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
turning your switch off every night.
Yep.
Just so you know, you not me.
Yeah. It would kind of suck if you never slept, though, the day, your life would just be like one long fucking day. And if you have a bad day, you go to sleep, you can wake up and you kind of be like, okay, new day.
I've thought about that when I have those little daydreams or night dreams or whatever, when you think about being some sort of like, what is that word I'm looking for? When you're like a God person, there's a word I'm thinking about. I can't remember it. But like when you think you have like God-like powers or whatever,
Yeah,
and I'm thinking,
demigod.
well, like, yeah, something of that nature. And like, well, okay, so then I don't need to sleep. I used to think, well, what would I do?
Yeah.
I would like sit there. I'm like, well, what would I do?
Yeah.
If I'm just constantly awake and I've got like this godlike power and I'm just always awake, and what would I do?
That would also
Like,
be kind of miserable.
How long would it last before I'm just sitting there on the side of the road and I'm a god sitting on a bench going, now what?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Exactly.
God sitting on a bench going, now what?
Like an eternal, like uninterrupted consciousness. That would be kind of hell. That would be.
I thought about I thought periodically when I go into my little God fantasy to get away from the world, and I'm like, what would I do? I would do this, I would do that, I would do this. And I would almost always end up getting to the point of, but then what? Like after the initial, I'm going to change all of these things. Then what?
There's this guru on TikTok, like the Indian gurus.
Yeah.
And he's funny. He does like funny stuff, or he does an impersonation of one. He's like, not every day can be a good day. Sometimes you just have a bad day and you say, fuck it, and you go home and go to sleep and start again tomorrow. It was like his thing. Like how everyone's always like, oh, you can make it a good day. Some days you cannot. You just say, fuck it. You say, fuck it. You go home, go to sleep. Start fresh tomorrow. Don't try to make it a good day.
I remember I was at a rehab or somewhere, and there was some guy who was Indian. He was into his new age stuff, and he was like, everything that happens is for the good. And everyone was testing him. I'm like, well, what if your dog dies? It's for the good because it means. And he was just coming up with like these ridiculous rationalizations about how every single thing that happens in life is for the good. Like that was his thing. Like there's nothing bad in life. Everything is for the good. And it's just like, yeah, dog, you obviously ain't been through some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's like Sun Tzu, right? Art of War. There are no good men or bad men. There's only teachers.
I got to move my car. The sun is now hitting me. Hold on.
Yeah, you're fine.
Do I have gas? Yes, I do. Oh, boy, I've been sitting there so long, the sun moved. All right, let me just figure out where the shade is, because it's like literally starting to beat down on me. And I don't know where the shade is. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out where the shade is.
You're good.
I think I might have to park sideways. I don't think it's going to be. You know when the sun's like in a direction where the lines, you hit the sun no matter where you are?
No.
You don't sit in parking lots like I do.
I'm just fucking with you.
I actually told dude I'm not coming back till later because I don't want to be there when he's not there. He's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, wait till he crushes up some Ambien and puts it in her fucking Zinfandel, and then you can go.
When you can't go home, that's the problem.
The first part of that episode was just kind of a conversation that we had before what was supposed to be the real conversation, and I felt it was important to include it. There's good little tidbits in there. Anyway, while we were in the middle of producing and recording interviews with Malachi, we got this mysterious message through our TikTok after publishing a preview for one of the episodes. The message was from a woman claiming that in 2019, Malachi sexually assaulted her. It's a pretty serious allegation. She made some other claims that he was a liar and a con artist, essentially, and to be honest, it was quite shocking. I knew he had a sketchy past, and he's told us all about that, but this was so recent. We messaged her several times to see if she would be interested in interviewing or even just talking about it off the record, and I feel as if we owe her that at least, but she declined. In having some level of journalistic integrity, I knew I had to confront Malachi on the accusation. It's an awkward thing to bring up, but I knew I had to. And it's just generally part of the story of his life. We researched the claims and did find court records from Wisconsin, a misdemeanor with a fine, not quite sexual assault charge, but more disorderly conduct. I wanted to set him up a little bit, not to be malicious, but more so to get his honest reaction and hear his side of the story. Before I could even get to the question, luckily, he came clean about it. Now, keep in mind, we're not taking sides on this, nor do we condone or validate any of the actions or claims or anything from either party, but we were only able to get one side of the story. So, here's Malachi's. So, you went through all this other, stuff you had in your past with possession and, going to jail, but, how old are you now again, roughly?
53, 54.
53, 50. Okay.
I lose track.
You gotta count the notches or count the rings.
You're right. Cut me open.
Yeah.
But once you get past all the blubber, you'll find a ring.
What was the last time that you kind of got arrested, or like, how long's it been?
I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that.
Oh, that recent?
Yeah, and the thing about it is that really, really gets my goat is that actually, before we go there, can I tell one separate story that just popped in my mind?
Yeah, sure.
Just because it's very short. It's very stupid, but it's kind of one of those ones where you're like, wow. So early on in my early addiction, and I was outside. I was at the same bar that I got arrested at the very first time. I don't know why I kept going to this bar. It's a gay bar. And I was outside the bar, and there was this homeless bum. I was drunk. This is really early when I still drank. I drank for like a year, and that was it. And I was like, drinking takes me some other place that I don't like. So I only drank for like a year, and then drugs took over. And it was a different thing, but it wasn't. Drinking just does something weird to you. So I was outside the bar, and this homeless bum, me and him start arguing. Why the fuck am I arguing with a bum? I don't know. And he threatens to beat me up. I threaten to beat him up. I pull out a knife. He pulls out a knife. I pull out a second knife. He pulls out a second knife. So we're in the middle of the street, Center City, Philadelphia, having a knife fight. I'm drunk. He's a bum. Somehow we missed each other. And I don't know how it happened. Somehow we separated. And I end up bending down to tie my shoe. And I look up and there's a gun pointed at me. And thank God, I think for a split second, I almost reached for the knife. I'm drunk, but God saved me. I didn't I think I felt myself reaching for the knife, and then I was no longer reaching for the knife. And so it was cops, and they put me in handcuffs. They threw me in the cop car, and then they threw the bum in the cop car right next to me. So we're having this knife fight. Totally my fault. There's no reason. I was drunk. I own all of this. And the bum starts trying to headbutt me. And now I'm sobered up now. I'm sobered up that quick. And I'm looking at a cop and I'm thinking, how the fuck am I going to get out of this? So I'm yelling at the cop, look at him. He's trying to, I'm playing the victim now. He's trying to attack me. He's trying to hit me. Look at him. Right. And so the cop's like, both of you just shut the fuck up and be still, And at that point, this is a big country cop, young white guy, late 20s, big old horse, everything you don't want to see in a cop when that it was him. And Philly cops are a mixed bag. You can get really, really good ones who are really nice and really care. I had a cop give me a sandwich instead of arresting me one time when he caught me getting high. So you get a mix, you can get either one. This is the one you didn't want. And he's just shut the fuck up. And so I shut up. I'm like, okay. And this guy's still trying to headbutt me, trying to bite me. And the cop looks and he's like, dude, stop that before I come back there and blah, 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 blah. And the guy says, fuck you, you white honky piece of shit, you white boy. Fuck you, white boy, you white honky piece of shit. I'll kill your ass. Cop pulls over, and I'm like, fuck, it's a wrap. Pulls me out the car. And shit, I'm about to get beat down. Unhandcuffs me. Says, get the fuck out of here. Pulls off at the bum. I never saw him again.
Wow. Got lucky there.
Man. I mean, like I said, I was drunk and fight with a bum. I did everything to possibly do that was wrong. The only saving grace is the bum was actually crazy as I thought he was. Now, I mean, I own that. I'm not a victim in that. Like I guess you said, I got lucky.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Last time I got arrested was about 4 or 5 years ago. Now, me and my ex of like 8 years had broken up, and I did what I do. I just got on a bus and left. Somewhere along the line, I somehow ended up in Wisconsin. I ended up renting a room. Do not do this. It's only actually worked out once for me, and I've done it like 6 times. From someone you met on Facebook. Don't do it. 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 And I ended up in Wisconsin and some small town called Rice Lake, which is pretty much 90, I think it's maybe 80% or 85% white, maybe 15% Native American, and then like 0.1% anything else. The big news there was when there was a black guy at the gas station, which is funny to me because they're all like, hey, Eric, we saw a black guy at the gas station. Yeah, did you hear there was a black guy at the gas station? I'm looking at him like, have you fucking forgot who you're talking to? For those who don't remember, I'm half Nigerian. American Nigerian, so I don't have an accent or anything, but my father's Nigerian. So, yeah, telling me you saw a black guy at the gas station doesn't hit the same, you know? But, like, that's the kind of town it was. So, I was taking a save surf course at a local college for like 2-3 weeks because I was under the misconception that I like to cook. I'm really good at cooking, not good at job cooking, not realizing I'm too old for that shit. Because you want to start cooking, you got to start young because you're doing like 18-hour shifts being a prep cook, no matter what school you went to. You know what I mean? Like it's not something you start when you're old, unless you want to start as a manager. But anyway, I'm taking this course, and there was basically, again, I'm 50. Everyone else there was like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And there was these 2 girls there who I was stupid. I had just broken up with my girl. I hadn't gotten laid in a few months. And I was going through my little midlife crisis of, am I still attractive? Am I still young and hip? So I was joining in with all the little jokes that they were doing. And I don't know if I don't want to say I was flirting, but I was just being stupid, just joking around. Stuff where I should have said to myself, these are 20-year-old girls. Forgetting about Me Too, forgetting about how now being a man is like the worst thing you could be in America, and how at any given time, a female change her mind, and all of a sudden you're like the worst human being walking the planet, and you are no matter what. Forgetting about all that, I'm joking with these 20-year-olds. So there's one, she was like not attractive, but she was trying to get everybody to fuck her. She even showed us some film she has on Pornhub of her sucking her boyfriend's dick. Like, look at me sucking dick. That should have been the first warning. Like, yeah, I might want to stop joking with that. You know what I mean? Like, she's showing me Pornhub movies of her sucking dick. Like, I might need to start acting like I'm, 49, 48, 40, whatever I was. But I guess I don't know. I guess I don't want to say trauma, but just the whole upheaval of ending the 8-year relationship, and then realizing, wow, I'm old. Just all of that was fucking with my judgment. And so I continued joking. And then thing is, though, they kind of went further and further and further. And then one day I'm sitting in class and like I'm serious at this point. Like I'm actually 49 for a change. And they're still joking. I'm like, okay, look, not right now. I'm tired. Like I'm trying to focus on what's going on. Joking. I'm like, look, I'm trying to. Oh, you think you're special now? Oh, you think, you didn't say that yesterday when you joked with us about, acting like little 20-year-old idiots. So finally I was like, will you just leave me the fuck alone? Oh, shit. All of a sudden, their whole energy changed me, and they hated me. And I remember it was a couple of days later, there was an older woman who was the only other older person, and I did something stupid, but not even stupid. I was just being playful. She had a pocketbook on one chair. She left the room. I put the pocketbook on another chair. I was bored. Just one of those, I wonder if she notices she's in a different seat. Just, something stupid you do when you're bored. Like, oh, let me see if she notices. Girl was like, you touched her pocketbook. I can't believe it. Don't you touch other stuff. because she's still mad because I told her, like, leave me the fuck alone. And I cursed the fuck. I'm like, bitch, will you leave me the fuck? Next thing I know, she's going to the office. She's hollering at me. He's intimidating me. He's bullying me. I'm like, all I did was tell her to leave me the fuck alone. So then they actually kicked me out of class and told me that she's afraid of me and I can't show the class. And I'm bitching at this point. Like, seriously, are we really there? Because I'm a dude. I told her to leave me alone. I'm the one. Like, are we really doing this? A couple of days later, cops show up at the house. You touched her ass. You touched her titty. Like, the two girls had made up this whole big thing about what I had done to them. And I'm just like, are you seriously arresting me? And the cops are laughing. And these are like, and I really, really hate to fucking use this word, but these cops are some racist pieces of fucking shit. And I hate that word. I think it's so overused. But in this particular case, it was obvious. So they put me in jail overnight. I'm furious. I'm bouncing off the walls because all the other times I was in jail, every single time I was in jail, I was guilty. Even the first one where I only pushed her some 30 years ago on the bed so I can leave the room, like I was at least guilty of pushing her so I could leave the room. So even then I was like, well, no, I didn't do all that, but I did push her to get away from me. So, maybe I'll get a probation or a fine. Like even then it was like, okay, I did do something, so I could kind of wrap my mind around it. I ain't do shit on this one. Nothing. I did not grab her ass. I ain't grab her titty. I ain't do none of that. It was just like, oh, we're mad at him. So I'm sitting in jail, and then this female public defender shows up, and I'm thinking, fuck. Like, I'm fucked now. We're doing a whole Me Too thing, and I got a female public defender, and she's a young white woman. I was like, this put me under the fucking jail. And she looks at me, first thing she says to me, she reads the report, she says, this is bullshit. She says, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what? She says, the girls in this town are doing this to everybody. I'm like, what? She said, yeah, anytime a girl gets upset at somebody, this is what they do. We'll take care of it.
So there's like a pattern of this?
There's a pattern. There's a pattern there.
So what's funny or ironic about this story so far, and just to chime in on this, is we posted a preview, because we're posting previews of the, different interviews and stuff we're doing with you as we go. So we posted a preview out on our social media platforms, and someone must have recognized your voice, and we actually got a message from someone that said, this person is not who you think they are, and they actually committed a sexual assault in Rice Lake, Wisconsin in 2019.
Okay, first of all, and I should be surprised. I applied for a job 2 years ago, and the first day starting a job, I got the same thing. Hey, someone sent us this thing, such and such and such. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And they were like, yeah, but we talked to them, or we responded, and we tried to talk to them, but they didn't want to talk, or they didn't want to this. And we researched it further, and we were like, this is bullshit. Fuck you. And they hired me anyway. I mean, it was a woman.
You think that was the same?
It had to be the same person. They've been stalking me forever. But let me tell you, this is how it went, though. It's not even over. So when she tells me that, I'm thinking, okay. So this is just some Me Too bullshit. Because remember, this is about when Me Too really first came out, and it was a beautiful idea. But like most everything in America, it got took into some really weird, strange extreme where like guys would just get charged with everything. You set it low, now it's gays rape. Like it's just this weird extreme of like, let me punish my ex-boyfriend for like sleeping with my best friend.
Did you say
3 years ago?
Gays rape?
Oh yeah, that's you didn't hear gays rape. Now, if you look at a girl too long, you're gays raping her.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh yeah, look that one up. That's real. I even saw one where some guy got a charge with like a sexual assault, and he proved that he was literally in another country when supposedly it happened. He's like, bitch, I was in Belgium. They still went through with charging him. It's like, I was in Belgium for the whole month. Like, yeah, but she accused you, so we have to charge you. That was the height of Me Too. Believe every woman, no matter what.
Yeah.
And there was this uptake of just men getting charged with all this, or the girl who just recently some college kid was charged, tried to ruin his life, and then they showed this was recent, like a month ago, and they showed on the bar camera, they're like, he didn't do anything you said.
Yeah.
And then the girls laughed it off afterwards. I think in Britain they finally punished somebody, some woman that accused like 18 guys of raping her through the years. And they finally stopped her and gave her like 5 years in prison.
Well, do you remember the Duke lacrosse team?
Oh yeah, the prostitute.
Yeah, that was the same
Who
shit.
went on? I think, if I'm not mistaken, she went on to do porn movies with Hugh Grant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or not?
I know they proved. I know
she
they
didn't do a porn movie with Hugh Grant. I think she dated Hugh Grant, and then I think she did a porn movie.
I know they proved that the kids weren't raping anyone.
Yeah, no.
But that was one of those things where all these
lives are ruined. There was one in Philadelphia. Yeah. A girl at LaSalle College. A girl had a threesome with 2 black guys. And then she accused them of rape. They got kicked out of college. Their life was ruined. And then they found texts later where she had told her girlfriend that I just fucked them. But I didn't want my parents to know. Not only did I fuck a black guy, but I fucked 2 of them. So I had to cover my ass. And she had texted this to somebody.
Yeah.
And
I remember hearing something about that too. Yep.
Nothing happened to her. So, and the thing about it, so it's just insane. So I'm at my room, and the landlord had been some big fat woman who was like mentally broken because her son killed himself, and she blamed herself, and she kept looking to me for like answers. I'm like, I don't have any. She's like, well, don't you find me attractive? I'm like, thinking to myself, bitch, you're 500 pounds. I'm sorry, that's not my flavor. God bless you if you like the big girls. I have nothing against anyone liking what they want, but I should be allowed not to like the big girls. You know what I mean? Like, nothing against you. It's just I don't get hard when I see a 500-pound naked woman. Just if that's your thing, do you beat that ass up all night long? Have a blast. Nothing against it at all. Just it won't do anything for me. So then when this happened, she got mad at me. It was like, oh, you touching her, but not me. And I'm like, I didn't touch her. Oh, but you want her, but not me. I don't want her. Oh, but you're now you're assaulting women. I didn't do shit. Next thing I know, the cops are knocking on my door.
So and wait, she heard about the other 2 charges or accusations?
Like, right.
Okay.
Well, I think the cops arrested me at the door. So I think they came home to my house, arrested me when I was renting a room in her house.
Oh, so okay. I gotcha.
So then she found out about it, obviously. And then a couple of days later, the cops came and arrested me again. And like, what the fuck is going on? And they're saying, oh, she said you pushed her just now. She was outside scared. And I'm like, now here, ready for this? Ready for this? When the cops walked in and said, I just pushed her, and she said her and her son were hiding in the backyard scared of you. You ready for this? You mean the son that's standing right there, who's 20, 6'2", and he's cleaning his rifle, was standing in the yard scared of me. 5'8", 48 years old. Let me cover this picture again. The son, who's 6'2", 20 years old, was standing right there, cleaning his rifle, was scared of me. And they start laughing. yeah, that's what it is. And they all start laughing together, and they arrested me. I go to jail. I'm pissed off again. The only good thing about it was there was this native guy who was one of the jail guards, big, giant dude, 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds of half fat, half muscle. And he let me out of my cell for a while. And we stood there talking about boxing. And it was just like two guys talking about boxing. He treated me with decency. He treated me like a human being. And it was time to go back in. He's like, come on, dog. You know you got to go in, right? Like, yeah, man, it's cool. I appreciate you letting me out to talk. He's like, don't worry about it, man. You know, like he just treated me like a human being. I hate to say this, but all the white guys there, they were all friends. The family was friends. I think they said something about I see at the picnic next week when they arrested me. To the guys, same PD, same public defender came in. The first thing she said to me, she said, "How the fuck did they arrest you?"
Yeah,
I don't know. She was like, "This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen." They actually arrested you for this? But yeah. So they let me out But then they said I can't go back to the house. Thankfully, I had someone to call and send me some money because they literally escorted me to the house. My bags were outside. They said, you can't go back. I'm in the middle of fucking Rice Lake in the winter with bags in my hand. You know, I found a room like that day. I went to a bigger city. I forget what the city was. Eau Claire. I think it was Eau Claire, which is something resembling an actual city. And I rented a room. I rented a room in some boarding house or something like that day. And then I just like the courthouse was like a really far away. It's like a whole other city away. I think it's like $100 Uber ride or some shit. And I was just like, I can't make court. I ain't got no way. I got 200. At the time, I don't think I had $200 for. Like I was like, fuck this bullshit. And I saw what I was headed for. I was like, they're just gonna like the judge, the police, everybody's friends in this bitch. You know, they're talking about there's a black guy at the gas station, which is ironic because Eau Claire actually had a gigantic African community, and Rice Lake didn't have one single black person. So it's like they specifically were like, we're not having that here. You know, we're going to be little white America. And when I say race-based things, trust me, it's real. Because I actually hate the fucking race card. I hate race baiting. I hate when people are like, oh, white people, this and I fucking hate that shit. No, white person is not the reason you're standing outside at 8 o'clock in the morning smoking a blunt. You're like, white man isn't keeping you from getting a job. Drinking a 48 in the morning is. So I hate that shit. So if I bring it up, it's pretty much a done deal. Like it's real. Because I despise even having to say those words. But it's true. So I didn't show up for court. I was like, fuck that. Then come get my ass. I'm getting arrested for scaring a 6'2", 20-year-old holding a rifle. Like I'm seeing how ridiculous this is. You know, I got some girls who I cursed out, like leave me the fuck alone. All of a sudden I touched their butt. Like, no, we ain't doing all that. So I left. I found out later they found me guilty of what was it? What's the thing is when you holler too much? Like when you scream, like nothing more than screaming.
Disturbing the peace or
there's something like that.
Yeah.
I got a fine. I'm still paying for like $1,000. Like,
so they didn't even charge you. So you didn't even get charged with any kind of.
I don't know if they. I think they dropped all the charges or something. Disorderly conduct. That's what I got. I got a disorderly conduct. Okay. Disorderly conduct.
I saw the initial charge because I looked it up after she messaged. And the initial charge was like 4th-degree sexual assault, which I guess would be grabbing someone's butt.
Now, but here's the thing, and which is horrible, because once you get a sexual assault to a man, people only read rapist.
Yeah.
You get a sex crime pissing, and it comes up as sex crime. You get caught pissing in the alley, you can get a sex charge. But people only see rapist. Yeah. So I was furious. Like you're going to destroy my life on a lie with a sex charge? A sex charge? You know that does to a man? Like, seriously? If I did it, I'd own it. Like with the girl I pushed, I admitted it. I pushed her in the bed to get my drug. Okay, I take that. You feel me? I take that. It wasn't right, but all I did was push her away from me. But I did it. The guy I pickpocketed. What did I say? I pickpocketed. Did I beat around the bush? No. I pickpocketed his ass. I was stupid. I was early in my addiction, and I was stupid. I own my shit. If I had done it, I'd be like, you know what? I got carried away. I grabbed the butt. Should have done. It is what it is. But I didn't. That's what pisses me the fuck off. It's not that I got caught. It's that I didn't do it. Every time I got arrested, I'm sitting in jail. The first thing I'm thinking is, damn, you stupid motherfucker. Why'd you do that? And this time I was thinking, there's a difference when you're sitting in jail and you're guilty. You're trying to figure out ways of like, okay, how can I lessen this? You know what I mean? How can I lessen this? What can I swing move? And this one, I'm just thinking, don't let me find this bitch. You got me sitting in jail on a sex charge that I did not do? Oh, fuck that. And so this bitch has been stalking me ever since. I got a disorderly conduct. Probably if it's cursing her the fuck out. Probably because and really, the reason I think they gave me that was just to save face. I really think they found me guilty of disorderly conduct just to save face. Because then they'd have to look at, we did all this arresting of this guy for nothing. And I didn't even go to court. That's probably why I got found guilty of that. If I'd actually gone to court, which maybe I should have, but, you know, at the time, it was looking like I was about to be the sacrificial lamb in little white America. So I said, fuck that, come get me. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck that. You don't catch my ass. I'm not being no sacrificial, mixed breed. Come catch me. Disorderly conduct. I honestly believe they did that just to save face, because they had to have to explain, why did we arrest this man 2-3 times for nothing? And now this bitch still haunt me 5 years later because she's obsessed with me. People get this weird thing. It actually happens with Trump. I'm about to go into Trump. Watch this one. I'm sure how it happens. I've got now this. My landlord's girlfriend is doing the same thing, but he's finally admitted that, like, dude, I'm scared of her too. It's not just you. She has decided that I'm to blame for everything that's ever happened in her life because I couldn't cure it. Like, she was talking to me one day and telling me, I was raped and my boyfriend beat me up and I used to run drugs and I was a bad parent, and I'm just sitting there like, I didn't ask you any of this, but I'm listening. I'm trying to be a decent human being. I never liked the person. She always seemed cuckoo to me, so I really never wanted to get close. But we're kind of in the same place, and I'm just listening. And when I couldn't cure her, then I became to blame for everything. This girl, same thing. One time when we were still getting along, she took me to some meetings she was going to for like abused people or something. And I'm like, she told me that she was asking me to go for moral support. I'm like, get there. She's like, so what did you get out of that? I'm like, what do you mean what I get out of it? What you bring me here for? I said, well, I thought you could use it because I get something out of it. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Well, maybe you can help me understand. I'm like, what? There are people in this world who see other people as only one or two things. That's it, one or two things. You're either going to be responsible for curing them, you will fill the empty spaces in them, or you will automatically become the blame for everything that they've gone through. That's it. That's all anyone exists to them. A lot of people do that with Trump now. And I'm not saying I'm pro-Trump. I'm not saying I'm against Trump. I'm not getting into my political beliefs. I'm just making an observation of the world. There are people right now that they blame Trump for everything that's ever gone wrong in their life. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. In fact, George Behart did it on national television. Some kid got shot and she said it's Trump's fault. And even her super duper extreme liberal co-host looked at her and like, what? What the hell are you talking about? They've decided that if their wife leaves them, it's Trump's fault. If someone gets shot in Israel, it's Trump's fault. Their kid was murdered 20 years ago. It's Trump's fault.
Yeah. It's like, fucked up. I've seen people lose their shit over that. Like, and I was almost fucking relieved when he didn't get reelected, because I'm like, now I don't have to. Now people can just own their own shit.
But they got worse.
Oh yeah, they did.
It got worse because what's happened is, now that he's not reelected, you can't actually connect the dots. So you can give him anything because there's no way to disprove it.
Yeah.
To the person in charge, you can actually connect the dots and say, well, no, they didn't do this because, look, they wrote this law, they did this, that they made this decision, that blah, 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 blah. But when the person actually is not in charge, you can create all of these what ifs.
Yeah.
Well, this wouldn't have happened if. Well, if he hadn't done, but he's not in charge, how is he responsible? Well, that's why.
Yeah. They got like daddy issues.
But it's
like a daddy issue, but with Trump.
Dude, it's a huge. They literally came up with the word when they call it Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh yeah.
It means the people and what they don't understand is that you've literally turned this man into a god. This is what these people have done to me. This is what the landlady did to me. I think this is what this girl did to me. They turned me into a god for the sole purpose of me failing them. And now I can be responsible for everything that's gone wrong in their life. Think about that. They made me a god just so I could fail. And now I'm the perfect blame.
When we think of shade, we think of a place to relax and recover. A place to hide out from the punishing heat and blinding light of day. Somewhere where we can catch our breath, collect our thoughts, and head back into the day, rejuvenated and restored. We all need to find shade sometimes. The next episode of Murdering Malachi will be out in a few weeks. This story is actually evolving as we were recording and publishing it. Most of these interviews that you've heard so far are from a few months ago, and in that time there has been some drastic changes in Malachi's life. A few hospital stays, a near-death experience. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel and have the notifications turned on. You won't want to miss it. The Redacted Podcast is produced by myself, Matt Bender, and my wife, Pamela Bender. Make sure to go out there and give us a like, a share it with your friends, rate us. Every little bit helps. Thanks for tuning in.